Now I invite Dr. M. Ranganathan sir to take over the session.
Dais is empty. Okay. No, no, it's okay, sir. You be comfortable wherever you are. Authorities of the college, Professor Seshadrinathan, Professor Shanti, dignitaries on the dais, Professor Ramesh Kumar, learned faculty members, research scholars and participants of this colloquium, and dear students. After a long time, I am again associating myself with commerce students and faculty. It gives me immense pleasure. I mentioned the topic as obstacles to research, commerce research. Why this topic? I know the present generation is very enthusiastic. They demand, they want to learn, they want to improve, they want to seek good jobs, prove their abilities. All that enthusiasm is there. So, therefore, the very fact that you have chosen to attend this workshop shows that you are very eager to learn things. So, therefore, the responsibility, the people who have spoken earlier, they have raised the expectations, saying that this person is a very great person and all. Now it becomes a problem for me to live up to that expectation. I may not repeat what is there already as research methodology in books. Those who have studied research methodology, they must be knowing. Theoretically, everything will be very clear to you. Teachers would have told you. So I would like to, based on my experience over a period of time, whatever that I have observed, whatever problems I have seen, defects, mistakes, that I would like to touch upon so that we can learn from the errors of others, mistakes of others. The very first thing, as I mentioned in the topic obstacles to research, if you ask a student, research student, what is the major obstacle you are facing? Probably they will come out with saying, my research supervisor. And if you ask the research supervisor, what are the problems you face? He will have a list of complaints about the present generation of students. He or she may say the present generation is not at all interested in research. They lack competence. They lack interest. So their involvement is very limited. Most of them are joining for the sake of degrees. What is the objective of research means? Getting PhD degree or MPhil degree. That seems to be the objective. So that way the complaints are there from the other side. So I think both of you are right. You have an element of truth on both sides. So therefore, when we talk about obstacles, we look at the process and see what is happening actually. So the very first question I raise is, why do you want to do research? Why do you want to do research? If you look at the history of knowledge, how knowledge has improved over a period of time. It is the enthusiasm, it is the curiosity, it is the great lifetime sacrifice of individuals, selected individuals. They have contributed to the progress of any discipline for that matter. So this shows, if you look at the greatest lives of scientists or economists, philosophers, this is what you come to know. You look at the profile of Nobel Prize winners, how much sacrifice, how much of involvement, the entire life they would have spent on their whatever objective they had. They never aspired for PhD degree or Nobel Prizes because their main interest is to contribute, to learn, to contribute. That curiosity has driven them towards higher levels of excellence. So that is what is very essential or core that is required. Any person who is trying to join a research course or research work, if they want to take up, do we really have interest? Are we interested in learning things? Do we seek improvement? In the process of research, are we gaining any skill or new knowledge? This is the most important test you have to apply for yourself. At the end of your course, after getting PhD degree, what is that I have achieved? Is this paper, the degree? Is it that? Or is there anything else? Personally, did I make any improvement? Did I change? Is there at least some 5 to 10% improvement in knowledge, in my skill? This is introspection for all of those who are joining research. This is important. So any person who is really interested in learning, interested in curiosity, basically, you must have a small child you look at. The child will be very curious. Everything is new. The environment is new. So everything is curious. That curiosity is the driving force in research also. So that should be the driving force for you to join a research work. Most often, I will look at some 5 aspects of your research study, and on that basis, I will share my experience. Selection of topic. How are you going to, what topic you are choosing? How are you going to choose a topic for your research? Most often, see, one basic problem with our educational system is, over a period of time, we have successfully killed the individual enthusiasm of individuals. So, teacher dependence has become much more. Individual work, independent thinking, that is slowly taken a back seat. In research, you need to use your mind, use your brain. You need to think individually. You must be capable of doing things on your own. See, self-study, no ready-made notes, ready-made kind of instructions will work. Independently, it is like a self-study. You have to learn. See, you cannot blame system or the teacher or anything else. Once you accept a particular task, it is your responsibility to excel. It is your responsibility to gain experience, knowledge in that particular work you have chosen. If others are not able to help, you cannot leave it blaming others because you have chosen it. You need to work for it. You have n number of sources now. Teacher is not the source for knowledge nowadays. Probably teachers will be eliminated by AI in the due course. If you say who is the best teacher nowadays, students will say Google. Google is the best teacher. So there are sources of knowledge are various. So teacher need not be your source. So you cannot blame anything for the your own weaknesses or incompetencies that you have. You identify yourself and try to overcome. See, during my teaching days, I have come across students saying, I don't have communication skills. I am not able to speak English. I am coming from rural area. I am not exposed to speaking in English. So what am I supposed to do? How do I improve? When you have a problem, you have to focus on that. You have to spend time on that. Okay, you make mistakes. You learn. You improve. You try. That's how individually you have to improve. So it is your, as a researcher also, it is your responsibility to see that you get all the required skills and knowledge for pursuing that particular task. If your guide is not able to help, if your college is not able to provide resources required for research, you cannot blame it and keep quiet. That's not the case. Once you take the task, it is your responsibility. See, at the time of Viva was also, when you are finishing your work and presenting it for the audience, it is your work. You are defending it. You can't blame anybody else for whatever mistakes that are there. So whom you can blame? When you claim that it is your work, you need to defend that. Therefore, you must have very strong foundation. You must have strong background. Then only you can defend. Okay, let us begin with some of the important issues. Formulation. Many people ignore this stage at all. Once the topic is chosen, most often you go in search of previous studies on that particular topic, previous PhD thesis or research work that has been carried out in that particular topic. That is a very bad way of starting your work. Very bad way of starting your work. Even for selection of topic, people go and search for previous PhD theses. And they look at various topics that students have attempted. Your mind will be set. You cannot think beyond that. You will be repeating what others have done. Why should you do that? What's the point? When somebody has already done that, why do you want to repeat it? What new knowledge you will be gaining out of that? You should start as a blank paper. Means individually you should identify what is to be done or what type of topic will be interesting to you. If the guide suggests the topic, there is always an excuse for you. Oh, that fellow is a villain number one, he has given this topic to me and therefore he wanted to punish me and therefore this topic is given. In review of literature, most often what I come across is, a topic is there for research. After 3 months, students come and say, "Onnume kadikala sir." There is absolutely nothing, no published work on this. I am not able to get any material on this. What am I supposed to do? Like this. See, please remember, the world is so vast, knowledge is so vast. There is no topic on which written material is absent. So everywhere you have, on any topic, you get n number of references, n number of books, articles. You have to search for it. You have to find out. So formulation, when we are talking about formulation of a research problem, your theoretical background should be very strong. When you say you are doing research in finance, people expect you to be an expert in that particular subject. They expect you to know the ins and outs of whatever problem you have taken. People should seek your advice as far as that particular aspect is concerned. That kind of expertise you should gain. So for that, the first step is you must know complete background information relating to the topic you have chosen. So people usually, your research supervisors say, identify gaps in the research. See, when you read reading theory is not for preparing bibliography. Most often bibliography is prepared as a list, and actually I don't think even 10% of the bibliography people would have studied. They would not have referred to also, but there will be a big list at the end of the thesis. But actually, what does it mean? Bibliography shows that you have extensively examined that issue, you have gone through all the materials required, you have enough information to carry on research. That is the indication when you are giving a bibliography. What is the point in giving a list without reading it? So theoretical background is very, very important. Unless you understand the subject, there is no question of giving further or going further. Because in research you are expected to provide an improvement on the existing knowledge. So you need to be thorough with what has already happened, what is the background for that particular topic. And that leads to theoretical model, conceptual model. You will be able to identify variables. You will be able to identify various types of constructs that are used in the research. So that helps you, that leads to you. Once you have the variables and their relationship, you can develop a conceptual model, theoretical model. And theoretical model leads to hypothesis. So there is a linkage. So this is this background is very important to proceed further. In olden days, people ask, research supervisors used to ask students to study at least 6 months before coming up for searching a topic or identifying a topic. Why do they insist like that? This is the purpose. So when you say I am a student of marketing, people assume that you know quite a lot about that. You are claiming expertise. So that you should assure yourself whether you have really gained that. Nobody else will come and see. If you have a cold, you have to suffer. Similarly, if you want to gain knowledge, you have to suffer. You have to acquire that. Nobody else will give it. If you adopt shortcuts, see, one important thing I want to tell you, every aspect of research you should experience before you get a degree. Then only you can claim you are an expert. You will be useful to the society. You will be able to help others only when you gain experience at every stage. So what is the point in if you are saying that you have PhD degree in a particular topic, and if you are not able to contribute anything, if you are not able to convince anybody with your knowledge or skill, what's the point of that degree? Formulation is very important, I said. I have observed one thing. In one of the theses, the title is Sickness in Small Scale Industries. So when you give a title like this, normally we expect the whole thesis will be focusing on that particular issue. But what actually has been done, if you read the thesis, it shows there is a sample of small scale units the researcher has taken, a sample of small scale units, and collected through a questionnaire what problems they are facing in marketing, finance, production, various aspects of business, problems they face with reference to government policies and all. And he analyzed and presented it. Problems of small scale units doesn't tell you anything about the sickness. Sickness is a specific aspect. Why particular units are going into sickness? There, you need to go into that particular issue. So the title and the work, they are not matching. You give a title, something, and then, so that means title has been chosen by somebody and work has been done by somebody. So therefore there is no relationship. If you are really focusing on your theoretical model, hypothesis, everything, then logically you will be able to give a topic which suits your work. The topic, the title that you are giving should reflect the work that you are doing. Second, design. Design depends on the type of research work you are taking, type of research. Mostly nowadays people go for surveys, sample surveys and things like that. And some people go by published data. They use published data for analysis purposes. Have you come across any experimental design in commerce research? Why not? Why people have not attempted experimental design, which is considered to be more scientific in its approach? Is there any intensive case studies in commerce? Certain types of methodologies students seem to be not at all preferring. And also certain types of areas of research are totally neglected. Accounting research, for example. I will raise one question. The so-called double entry system which you are studying in your BCom and MCom, 500-year-old, 1490s, it was first initially started. That means more than 500-year-old. Why there is no change? Why there is no attempt on accounting systems as such? On taxation, on auditing? Any studies on auditing, particularly in a computerized environment? What type of risks are there? What type of errors are committed? How the system works? Is there any? So certain branches of study are not at all preferred. Marketing, HR, these are preferred because it is material is easily available. You can repeat what others have done. So ready-made structures are available, so people go by that. So most often you choose an easy way of completing the work. So where do you get knowledge when you are adopting like this? Design, as far as design is concerned, as I mentioned, the type of research decides the type of design that you wanted to implement. Okay, next you proceed to data collection and preparation of tools. This is the weakest link in your whole study. Data collection and preparation of tools for data collection. Normally, surveys means you prepare a questionnaire or you are supposed to go for interviews. Are we really skilled enough, trained to conduct interviews? Are we capable of just listing a few questions and asking them, will it serve? If you will prepare a questionnaire, what is that you do? Most often you list a list of questions you give. I have seen, because there was no careful planning, what happens I will tell you. Students prepare a questionnaire and collect data, go for analysis. At the time of analysis, your researcher, supervisor or others will point out factor analysis will be most suitable in this type. So you adopt factor analysis. But the questionnaire you have used doesn't enable you to apply factor analysis. It is useless. If you are going for open-ended type of questions or unstructured type of interviews, how can you use that data for factor analysis? So unless you have a plan for, if you are using multivariate analysis, you must prepare for that. From the beginning, that preparation should be there. Your tools for data collection should reflect that. What type of analysis you are likely to apply, you should take into consideration. So what happens when a professor asks you to do multivariate analysis? After collecting data, you restructure the questionnaire and put it in your thesis. That restructured questionnaire is not what you have used in your work. But for public, you give that questionnaire. Because they will raise question, how can you use this questionnaire for that analysis? They will raise that question. So you restructure the questionnaire and put it in your thesis. People have done that. So that is why planning is required. And when you are going for interviews, when you are going for data collection, certain social problems also will emerge. I will just give you one personal experience. In Bangalore, when I was in Bangalore, we did a case study in a rural area. On behalf of IIM Bangalore, we went to a rural area and we did a case study. They are all villagers, we are supposed to speak in their local language. And we have a sample design. We are supposed to, in that village, only one main road, that's all, one road, one street. On both sides, houses are there. That's all. About 50, 60 houses. Small village. Mainly agricultural activity and sugarcane they are cultivating, and they make jaggery. That is their main activity there. Now, when we go, basically our aim is how socio-technical systems operate in village economy. That was the focus. So when we went there, we are supposed to contact every third house. That is our sample. You go and collect, as per your sampling, you go and collect data from one house. Namma maneke yenu baralla. So that Kannada, they say, why you have not come to our house? People will ask. The neighboring house owner will come rushing, and he will say, you please come to our house. They are very good. They offer you buttermilk. They will treat you very well. They have a very good respect for educated people coming from Bangalore city to that remote village. They were also happy. So they wanted to help you. So they will call you. How do you fit in that in your sample? You say every third house is your sample. Now this guy comes and says, you come to my house and I will also give you information. What you have to do, you collect that, as a courtesy, matter of, you cannot hurt that person. You go and talk to him, you may not consider that information for your research. That's what you should do. You should go by your plan, but you cannot hurt people. These are some practical, see, only when you experience, you will come to know all these difficulties. If you sit in your department library and try to do research, you are not gaining anything. You have to go to field. Go to field. Then you will know. Validity, reliability of your instruments, you have to test. You have to check those things. Simply listing some questions doesn't help you. It won't work. What is the relevance you have to see? How valid those questions are, you have to see. Whether it helps you to analyze or achieve your objectives of research, you have to see. So, lot of personal involvement is there. You have to learn how to prepare a good questionnaire. Unless you prepare and do things on your own, you are not gaining anything. You are not gaining anything new. Most often what you do, you go by published questionnaires previously used by other researchers. You make some, tweak it and use it for your research. What is that you are going to gain out of that? If you are preparing a questionnaire on yourself, that is an experience by itself. Your theoretical knowledge, your skill in framing questions, the way you try to collect information, these are all skills that you have to develop yourself. So you collect data like this. Next stage, analysis and interpretation. I'll give 3 examples. One PhD thesis, it talks about impact of establishing a cold storage in a town for milk distribution, milk supply. So the effect of, so the researcher wants to say that this facility has improved consumption in that particular area. So as part of the research work, there is a hypothesis which says establishment of cold storage plant has improved consumption of milk by the households. So 5 years before establishing households, 5 years after establishing households, a table has been prepared. The figures relating to total milk that is sold in that particular town before and after. T-test has been applied. So the average before, average after, you compare and say, yes, there is significant improvement, and therefore this has helped. Is this right? Hypothesis has been established. What is wrong in this? What about population growth during that particular period? How do you take aggregate figure and then on that basis you give your inference? The researcher should have taken per household consumption or per capita consumption. That would have definitely given a different interpretation or different result. You take aggregate figures, gross figures, and annual averages you are comparing. Meaningless. It doesn't help you. It doesn't prove that hypothesis you wanted to prove. Another example. From one university, there is a study on mergers and acquisitions. About 50 companies from different industries. Objectives of acquisitions are different. Each company will have its own idea or purpose for going for this kind of acquisitions. Why do you want to acquire another business? Maybe to improve your supply chain, maybe to improve your market presence, gaining leadership in the market, or maybe to improve your overall profitability. You have different objectives. So in this research, they wanted to examine whether this acquisition benefited the acquiring company, how far it was beneficial. So initially in the theory, they have mentioned why acquisitions take place, what are the objectives of this each company in taking up this acquisition. But in the analysis, 50 companies, they have data from different industries. So before acquisition, after acquisition, profitability or whatever type of information they have examined, and about 10 or 15 tables are there. In none of the tables, they were able to show any significant difference before and after. So the thesis says the acquisitions are not really useful to the companies. That is the inference given. I don't say in all cases acquisitions will be successful. There are certain companies which will go for acquisitions even without any significant benefits for them. You take a major acquisitions made by Tatas. They have acquired Chorus, British Steel. Now Tata Steel, it is called Tata Steel. They have acquired Suzlon company they have acquired. Land Rovers, car company they have acquired. All these three actions are loss making. They have incurred heavy losses in these things. But why did they go for this? They have invested billions of dollars on these acquisitions. Why did they do this? Because they want global presence. They want global presence. That is a prestige for them. So Jayad, the previous Ratan Tata, he was very much interested in this kind of acquisitions. So that's a different case. But in these 50 issues, 50 cases, I have attended Vivavos as an examiner. I have attended that particular Vivavos. I raised this question: why did these companies go for acquisitions when there is absolutely no benefit? Why did they go for it? The results show that the statistician I cannot blame the researcher because researcher has not done analysis. It was outsourced. That person also is there in that audience, statistician who did this analysis. So the candidate was looking at the statistician when I raised this question. Major flaw is combining all the industries before and after and then doing this this gross aggregating has taken out all the significance. Cement, fertilizer, engineering units, electronics, everything you put together and you try to see whether there is any significant change. Meaningless, because for each industry, the objective may be different. Purpose may be different. You have to isolate, classify, and look at what has happened in each case. Then your results would be different. I did that analysis before going to Vivavos and showed them how they have gone wrong. I'll give you another example. This is two cases. One is from Punjab, another one is from Allahabad. In the Punjab thesis, this is a study on some banking sector. So the first chapter itself is research design chapter. Excellent piece of write-up on research design, that is on sampling, everything. So I was very much impressed by reading that first chapter. The candidate claimed that they have adopted stratified random sampling, and they have mentioned what is the process, how probability principles have been applied, all that beautifully written. So I was expecting high quality research. So third chapter I went, that is the starting of analysis for that study. In the third chapter, the candidate says they have selected one district, and in one district, one town was selected, and in the town there were 4 branches. All the 4 bank branches they have chosen, and from each bank branch, they have chosen some 50 customers, and on that basis, data has been collected and analyzed. Is this stratified random sampling? Whatever impression I got by reading the first chapter is totally gone. All false claims. I tell you, as far as sampling is concerned, 99% of our studies make false claims. Random sampling is difficult, it's not easy. But as a researcher, if you wanted to do random sampling, you do it. You have to undergo that process. It is difficult, it is challenging, I can't do it. If you are taking excuses like that, then why do you come to research? Random sampling, if you want to do it, you do it. You have to follow that procedure. You don't follow, you follow convenient sampling you take, and then in your thesis you say you have adopted random sampling and all. That is dishonesty, making false claims. So in Punjab thesis, that is what I have observed. In Allahabad, hypothesis testing was wonderful. So it was healthcare, something to do with healthcare. Public and private healthcare services they have compared. And in the study, it shows private sector health services are very costly, and they have more facilities, more patients seems to be going there, like this. And the table, see the hypothesis in the beginning they have mentioned, wanted to compare private and public health services. In the table, they say the cost for a patient for a particular treatment in private sector and in public hospitals, they say, and below that they write hypothesis is proved, because private sector costs are higher than this. So equipment wise, facilities wise, private sector is having so many, public sector is not having so many. So again, significant difference. Is this hypothesis testing? Is this the way you do hypothesis testing? When I asked that candidate, simply they were unable to answer. They thought that is how hypothesis testing is done. So problems will be like in analysis, interpretation. I mentioned that cold storage, no? It is a wrong interpretation. You have not done analysis properly and you are claiming that consumption has increased. if you have taken per capita, the result would be different. So how are you going to analyze and what kind of interpretation you are? Most often in thesis, what is that I come across is a table is given and that is described below that. That is the findings. They say findings and they say the t-test results are like, it is already there in the table. T-test results are there. Your probability value is there. Everything is there. You rewrite the whole thing, what is there in the table. That is your interpretation. That is your inference or result. Result is already given. Interpretation, nobody seems to be bothered. In interpretation, you are supposed to link this result with the theory. That is how your theoretical background should be very strong. That gets reflected in the way you are writing thesis. So in Viva Voce, when people raise questions, if you are unable to answer all by yourself, and if you are looking at research supervisor, miserable. You have not learned anything. So you must focus on learning, improving. That should be your objective. At least some 5 to 10% improvement in my knowledge, in my skill. It should be there at the end of the course. Otherwise, whole effort is meaningless. Lastly, thesis report, writing the report. In one case, he was a teacher, college teacher. So painstakingly, hours together I have spent, line by line we have corrected, final draft, final work we have corrected. And I asked him to take this corrected version in a pen drive and just take printout and go for binding. This guy went to the Xerox center and gave that pen drive, but they retyped the whole thing. They did not take printout. They retyped the whole thesis and then taken out printout, and he has submitted because he has already got, he was from some other town. So therefore, I have already signed his certificates and all. So he has submitted. It has gone to the examiner. Examiner has sent this big list of errors, typographical errors. I was shocked. I have spent so many hours correcting that thesis, and ridiculous type of errors are there. And most insulting thing is the tables, two-way table you prepare. Whether it is vertical column or horizontal column, total should be same. Because of the typographical errors, the figures are different. Examiner raises all sorts of questions. How can you write like this? How can you do like this? Then the candidate coolly says, yes, I did. See, okay, you have gone for retyping. Is it not your responsibility to check again before submission? If you give a badly written report with a lot of typographics, however good your research work may be, that gives a very bad impression. And examiners will give you a big list. You will be asked to rewrite the whole thing. At every stage, you have to take a lot of care. It is your child. You have to take care of everything. These are essential things. So those who are in pursuit of knowledge, those who wanted to really do sincere work, they have to gain experience. No outsourcing. No task should be given to others. Everything you have to do it yourself. Then only that experience will give you new knowledge, new skill. You will be able to help others. That is the only advice I can give. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for that insightful and enriching session. Your vast experience and deep knowledge have truly helped us. We are grateful for the time and effort you have taken to share your valuable insights with us. Now, I would like to invite our resource person, Dr. R. Ramesh Kumar, sir, to take over the session.
Sir, you are comfortable idile pesirilla illaya illa ukkandu pesnunala yeah, you can move. Okay.
In excitement I'm around.
Yes, sir. But you are comfortable.
Yeah.
அதில் நீங்கள் ஜஸ்ட் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணிடுங்க சார். நான் அதுக்குள்ள ஜஸ்ட் கிவ் யூ திஸ் சார்.
Oh yeah.
Check. Ready ஆயிடுச்சு.
சரி சரி.
You have 1 minute கீழே வச்சுக்கோங்க. சார் பாயிண்டர்
We just heard Dr. Ranganathan's wisdom coming forth so beautifully, this practical wisdom, and I was one of those, he had helped. So I owe so much to him, this tremendous wisdom, and all practical problems that we all face comes out so beautifully, clearly. So, yes. And this is perhaps the last session now, post-lunch. And this topic I chose, I couldn't choose any other thing. So why Doctor of Philosophy is a question. Professor Ranganathan asked, why should we do some research? And what are the problems that we come across? So my question is more like this, a little theoretical. Why Doctor of Philosophy? Like, what I mean is, was it called Doctor of Philosophy or PhD, as we call it? So, there are two things, doctor and philosophy. Why doctor? Generally, when we think of a doctor, we think of a physician, basically. But we have PhDs in philosophy, in chemistry, in physics, and so on. So, why doctor? This word doctor comes from Latin, docere, which means to teach. A respected teacher, or he has a license to teach. That's how it was looked in Middle Ages, in Paris and Bologna and Spain. Some of the ancient universities began there. And philosophy. Philosophy is love of wisdom. The word comes from Greek, from phile, love, and Sophie, wisdom. is love of wisdom. So you are licensed to teach and you have a love for wisdom. That you have attained wisdom, knowledge and wisdom. That's why it's called Doctor of Philosophy. So that's the idea. And there is the statue. It's a work of art by Auguste Rodin, a French sculptor. And you can see the whole of his body is straining and is thinking. It's one of the great works of Western art. Now, this is the very paradigm of Western intellectual tradition. Here, the whole of his being seems to think. So, the Western idea is that I think, therefore I am. It's thinking that becomes primary. Thinking that becomes primary. Now, in the East, you won't find any previous one. Somebody is in a hurry, I suppose. Yeah, that's it. So, in the East, you wouldn't find any sculpture like this. You would see the Buddha, his eyes half closed in deep meditation, and people like Ramana Maharishi, all those great, people. For them, is being comes first. I am. Therefore, I think. So, this in contrast to the Western intellectual tradition. We call it Western intellectual tradition. So, this one big difference is between West and East. So, and the next one, please. Yeah. This is Pythagoras. I would like to call him Sage Pythagoras. Sage. He was a sage, and we all know Pythagoras from the good old Pythagorean theorem, Pythagoras theorem that we all struggled to learn in our schools. Pythagoras, no signal. Oh. Ah. Yes. Pythagoras, the first philosopher. And it was Pythagoras who coined the word philosophy and also mathematics. Two important words, philosophy and mathematics. He was the first to coin them. And he also said, all is number. Dr. Ranganathan spoke about statistics. So the whole thing is number crunching. All is number. And I'll have more to say about it a little later. So Pythagoras was a very eminent philosopher, and his greatest contribution perhaps is all is number. That's a bolt from the blue. All is number. What does it mean? We are going to see a little later. And now, next please. What is wisdom? I said philosophy is love of wisdom. But what is wisdom? The ancient Greeks looked at it as techne, episteme, and sophy. Techne is skill, skill in doing something. Episteme is knowledge, and sophy is wisdom. What is the difference? Let me give you an example. An electrician comes and does all the circuit, right? He has skill in doing things. He has attained skill in doing things. So techne. The word technique comes from that. Techne. Statistical techniques. Techne. And then episteme. In Greek it means knowledge. Now, the electrician does not worry about Ohm's law or Maxwell's beautiful 4 equations. He doesn't. So, that is knowledge. Now, how does the light, how does electricity function? So, these fundamental questions, the Maxwell's equations, Ohm's law, and all those things form our knowledge, episteme. And then, sophy is wisdom. The difference between knowledge and wisdom is that wisdom has a moral dimension. So knowledge is one thing, wisdom is something higher. If I ask, should I have the light now? That is wisdom. There is a moral dimension to the whole thing. That is wisdom. Yes. Okay. So, now, look at 2 great people. One is Peter F. Drucker. He was a professor of management and a great consultant. And Drucker talks about knowledge worker. On the other hand, S.K. Chakraborty from IIM Calcutta. He was a professor of management and he worked from the Indic framework. His framework was Indic. And he talks about wisdom worker. That's great. You see a world of difference between these 2. Knowledge worker and wisdom worker. So, you can again see the difference between the West and the East here. And Chakraborty was much influenced by Vivekananda and Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. Yes. Now, T.S. Eliot, a great poet, said, right? Now Google gives you information. So T.S. Eliot asks, information is not knowledge, and knowledge is not wisdom. So where is wisdom, we have lost in knowledge, and where is knowledge, we have lost in information. Information is not knowledge, and knowledge is not wisdom. So this is what I would like to point out. And now, please, next one. Yeah. There is one Masanobu Fukuoka. My friend Bodhi introduced this great thinker, Japanese farmer and philosopher. He wrote a famous book called One Straw Revolution. Tamillium vandirukku. Ilya. Yes. So my friend Bodhi introduced this to me. And he says that before researchers become researchers, they should become philosophers. Which means that you need to reflect on what you are going to do, as Professor Ranganathan very wisely said. A philosopher reflects on what he is going to do. It's essentially a reflective work. So, that's Japanese farmer and philosopher and poet Masanobu. And now, the mother of sciences. Philosophy is like a mother of all sciences. It's like a mother having a few girls. Until they grow up, they are with the mother. And when they grow up, they are married to, and they go out to their in-laws' house. So they go away. And when they have problems, they come back to the mother after all. Where else can they go? So philosophy is like mother, great mother of all sciences. If you look at, physics, it is called natural philosophy. If you look at Isaac Newton's magnum opus, the title is Philosophiae Naturalis Principia Mathematica. Mathematical Principles of Natural Philosophy. That's the title. He wrote in Latin. And even now, there is one Marcelo Glaser at Dartmouth in New Hampshire. And he is professor of natural philosophy, physics, and astronomy. A man of immense knowledge and wisdom. So, and if you look at psychology, psychology was called mental philosophy. But then psychology became a science. And the first laboratories were started by Wilhelm Wundt in Germany. Now psychology is called a science of behavior, as B.F. Skinner and Watson said, science of behavior. And you have lot of lab work and immense amount of statistics being done in these sciences. So psychology, physics, all came from philosophy. Next. And philosophy is the art of wondering. That's very beautiful. Art of wondering. Like, why should I do this piece of research? What is new about it? For instance, if these are the days of artificial intelligence. Everybody talks about artificial intelligence. No. What does it do to human beings? What are the psychological problems they may face? In these days of artificial intelligence. Now, this is a good question perhaps for you to pursue. Good question for you to pursue. So, philosophy begins in wonder. And Plato said, this is from a great painting by one Raphael. He lived during the period of Michelangelo, Buonarroti in Italy. And this part of a great painting called School of Athens by Raphael. And here are two people. This elderly man is Plato. The younger one is Aristotle. If you look at them, Plato shows one hand up. And Aristotle, the younger one, throws his hand down. They are saying something. For Plato, Platonic forms are the most important, the world of perfection. For him, geometry is the embodiment of perfection. Plato was what we call a rationalist, which means reason alone can give you true knowledge. True knowledge. Yeah, faultless, perfect knowledge. For him, the very paradigm of perfection was Euclid's geometry. In fact, in his academy, at the entrance, he wrote, "No one ignorant of geometry enter." That's a kind of supreme importance. No, the very paradigm of perfection is Euclid's geometry. So, Plato says it's only reasoning, careful reasoning can give you perfect knowledge. The world of senses deceive you. On the contrary, Aristotle says, no, all knowledge is empirical. Empirical. He says, no, all knowledge is empirical, based on observation. Based on observation. For him, he was a great biologist. Apart from a logician, Aristotle was a great biologist. He was one of the earliest to have developed a classification system for biological species. So that is Aristotle. Now, the whole of our sciences, whatever we take, physics or chemistry or anything that we take, there are two sides. One is the deductive side, the other is the inductive side. Deductive is from going from the general to the particular. Inductive is from going from particular to the general. So, these are the very paradigms of deductive science and inductive science. So, philosophy begins in wonder, asking questions, having a sense of wonder is the most important thing. Is it not? And yeah. Next one. Yeah. Some of the ideal qualities, the very qualities that we need to cultivate as researchers. Freedom to wonder, freedom to doubt, freedom to ask questions, and search for truth. In fact, the very title by Professor C.R. Rao is Statistics and Truth. C.R. Rao was a great, he recently passed away, 2023. Professor C.R. Rao, a very great statistician, a very great statistician. He had contributed so much. There is Rao Schwartz inequality, and he did a lot of work on multivariate analysis and so on. He was such a great person. Look at the very title of his book, Statistics and Truth. So, the search for truth becomes important. If you look at Aristotle, who was the disciple of Plato, he says, there is Plato, but there is truth. There is Plato. Plato அருமையானவர். அவரை விட அருமையானது உண்மை. There is Plato. There is truth. This is a mantra we should all remember. There is Plato. There is truth. Plato was Aristotle's teacher. He was his guru. But yet he says, there is Plato, but there is truth. And look at the very title of C.R. Rao's book. The book is based on his lectures he gave in India, Statistics and Truth. C.R. Rao started his life in Andhra and studied MA, MSc in mathematics and then MA in statistics. And he was a disciple of Professor Mahalanobis, and then went to England to study with none other than Professor Ronald Aylmer Fisher. He was a student of Ronald Aylmer Fisher, and he learnt a lot from him. He did a lot of theoretical work, but Fisher said, you must dirty your hands. Look at the experiments that he was doing on the chromosomes of mice. And he collected data, raw, and did a lot of work. And then somebody from the anthropology department said, you send somebody, they said to Fisher, somebody, one of your students, to help us to measure the skulls and bones. And Professor Rao applied his statistical knowledge to measure, the bones and skulls of ancient people. So you can see how statistics gets applied to various fields. It has immense applications. So these are the very qualities that we need as researchers. Reflections. A simple joy of knowing. You learn for the joy of learning. It's the most wonderful gift that you can give to yourself. This joy of knowing. Like for instance, why something behaves like this? Simple questions. Like, if you look at the sun, as it rises, it looks very big. As it goes up, it looks smaller and smaller. Now, why does it happen like that? Does it shrink? Or what is happening? This is a very deep question, in sciences. Simple, but beautiful. Sir C.V. Raman looked at the sky, he said, why is it blue? Why the sea looks blue? And the Raman effect, scattering and all those things that we have. So this simple joy of knowing and humility. Second quality that we need is humility. Humility is not thinking less of oneself, but less often about oneself. There is a big difference between these two. Thinking less of oneself is not the same thing as thinking less often about oneself. That means that you are involved in something greater than yourself. Like for me personally, looking at the stars, looking at the planets through telescope, looking at the stars, it becomes expansive, and you think less of yourself. You think something that is bigger. So this is a very important. And Vidya Dadati Vinayam. Vidya Dadati Vinayam. My friend Dr. Deepankar Datta, a very famous obstetrician, gynecologist, my friend, who said this to me, Vidya Dadati Vinayam. And this quality we need to develop, Vidya. People know sometimes I hear about Vidya Garvam. Vidya Garvam. I've seen some people like that. But Vidya Dadati Vinayam. And recently, there was one very great person who passed away. He is Te Jnanasundaram. Te Jnanasundaram. My friend Bodhi only, no, I hadn't heard of him, unfortunately. But my friend Bodhi had seen him, Te Jnanasundaram. So, look at his name, Jnanasundaram. And somebody writes about him beautifully. Kalviyin payan arivu, ஒழுக்கத்தின் பயன் அன்பு, அன்பின் பயன் அடக்கம், இவை நம் ஆன்றோர் வகுத்த வரைமுறை. நம் பெரியோர் இதனால் வித்யா வினய சம்பந்தம் என்பர். பேராசிரியர் தே ஞானசுந்தரத்தை பற்றி இலங்கை ஜெயராஜ், அவர் பெரிய ஸ்பீக்கர், இலங்கை ஜெயராஜ், யூ மஸ்ட் ஹவ் seen some of his videos, a great expert on Kambar. And தே ஞானசுந்தரம் அவர்கள் அவர் பெரிய கடல் அப்படின்னு சொல்கிறா. ஸோ கம்பராமாயணம், கம்பரை பற்றி அவ்வளோ ஆழமாக தெரியும். அது தவிர தமிழில் எல்லா இலக்கியங்கள் தெரியும். அண்ட் his Sanskrit knowledge was very excellent and English was very good, and such a great person and a person of great humility. So he was immersed in something greater than himself. So he forgets himself. There is no time for you to think about yourself. Is it not? So that's a kind of person, Te Jnanasundaram. For all of us, a very paradigm example how to be in life. So this is Marcelo Gleiser, I told about him a little earlier, professor of natural philosophy, physics and astronomy at Dartmouth in New Hampshire. And he's a Brazilian physicist. He says, as the island of knowledge grows, so do the shores of ignorance. Imagine that you are an island and the island is growing. And we imagine that the island, grows and reaches the shore. This is a kind of idea that many scientists have. Science will completely understand the whole universe and everything. There will be nothing to know then. This is a view of such a great person like Stephen Hawking. So we will have a perfect knowledge of the universe. There will be nothing more to know. But Gleiser says, as the island of knowledge grows, so do the shores of ignorance. They are receding away from us. There is so much, there are certain things we know. Then there are unknowns, lot of unknowns. Then there are a lot of unknowables. There are three things: known, unknown things, unknowable things. These are the three things: unknown and unknowable. So, this gives us humility. Our knowledge will never be perfect. And, I thought of just sharing with you some of the, scientists who were philosophically inclined, sought the help of philosophers. There was one G.N. Ramachandran, GNR, as he was fondly called. And he was a biophysicist at Madras University. And he was known for triple helix. You must have heard in genetics, the double helix was discovered by Sir Francis Crick and Watson. Double helix. Now this double helix is in our every cell that defines our physical characteristics. They carry the hereditary qualities, characteristics. So it's double helix. And now, Professor G. N. Ramachandran discovered triple helix. It was called Madras triple helix. In England and other places, it was called Madras triple helix. This triple helix is in your skin, your bones. Is in what is called, it forms part of collagen. So this triple helix, and it was rejected by Francis Crick. But GNR proved to be right. And he also had developed Ramachandran plot. And he was inspired by two things. One is Keno-Upanishad. And Keno-Upanishad, Keno means what? What? So what is knowledge? And it talks about paradoxical knowledge. It is said in Tamil, Kandavar Vindadillai, Vindavar Kandadillai. That's the idea that Keno-Upanishad seems to convey. And the other is the Jaina philosophy. And something called Syadavada. Perhaps, or maybe, that's a kind of idea. There may be this, it may be right, or it may be wrong. That's a kind of idea. And then you have Shabdabhangi. Shabdabhangi is sevenfoldedness, sevenfold logic. In Aristotelian logic, you have either or, true, false, Boolean functions, Boolean algebra. Same as Aristotelian logic, true, false, right, wrong, in, out. But in fuzzy logic and other systems, there are many grades, many values. Something may be, something may not be. It can be both this and that, and so on. So, Shabdabhangi is sevenfold logic. And he wrote a very beautiful paper on this. And the third is Anekandavada. Reality is multifaceted. Reality is multifaceted. There are many views for the same idea, for something. There can be many perspectives. Many perspectives. So I can't say that my own perspective is the right one and others are wrong. So therefore, he was much influenced by all these ideas. And his research conveys all these ideas so beautifully. Second one, Niels Bohr, one of the founders of quantum mechanics. There's something called quantum mechanics. You must have heard about quantum computers now. Quantum computers, right? Now, a lot of work on quantum computing is developed. My friend today gave me an article about quantum computers today, which appeared in which... Indian Express. If you see today's Indian Express, yesterday's Indian Express, you have an excellent article on quantum computing. So I would like the young researchers to have a look at that. It's a very fascinating area. There's going to be the future, quantum computing. And Niels Bohr was a very great, one of the founders of quantum mechanics. And he was much influenced by Chinese philosophy. You must have heard about, you must have seen this symbol in the Korean flag. This symbol. You have in this, you have the white part and a dark spot. And you have a dark part which has a white spot. It's conveying something to us. Niels Bohr, when he won his Nobel Prize for his Nobel coat of arms, chose this because he did a lot of work on something called wave-particle duality in quantum mechanics. there's something strange that is going on, he said. A wave has a particle aspect and a particle has a wave aspect. They are not mutually exclusive. A particle, like an electron, can appear as a wave, a probability wave. And a wave of light can appear as a particle, a photon. Wave of light can appear as a photon. An electron wave can appear as an electron object, particle. So, wave has a particle aspect, particle has a wave aspect. Now, this was the idea. You find a wave in a particle and a particle in a wave. Don't worry about the details. The idea is very beautiful, very important. And it was Niels Bohr who called it correspondence principle. Niels Bohr was in Copenhagen, and at his institute, all the young great physicists came. People like Werner Heisenberg and Erwin Schrödinger and all those great scientists spent, he was like a godfather to all of them. Anna. So they all sought his help. He made them stay there, offered comfort and guided and helped them. He was such a great teacher. He was such a great teacher. Yes. This is important. Now, Professor Ranganathan spoke about hypothesis and the importance of hypothesis formation and hypothesis testing. And look at the first one. All descriptions of reality are temporary hypotheses. If you remove this name, if you hide Buddha, hide it. This well could have been said by some contemporary thinker. But so Buddha is so modern. All descriptions of reality are temporary hypotheses. So for a researcher, this is a very important thing. You must always look at it as a temporary thing. You don't know what is the truth. We are only fishing out. We are trying to understand. There will always be the unknowns. There will always be, unknowns are greater than the knowns. Our knowledge is meager. The unknowns are very big. Therefore, all descriptions of reality are temporary hypotheses. They are temporary. I cannot say that I know for perfect that this is the case. I can't say. Is it not? Just because, it's the null hypothesis rejected at 0.05 level of significance. Doesn't mean that I am perfectly right. We should be a little skeptical about it. Should always be. And the second is by George Box. George Box said, all models are wrong and some are useful. Another bombshell. All models are wrong and some are useful. George Box, as the researchers may know, there is Box robust statistics, robust statistical methods. That's what he developed. That is the probability distributions have a lot of assumptions. So he made as little as assumptions as possible. Assumption-free distributions. That's what George Box did. And you have Box-Jenkins method and all those things. And he said all models are wrong and some are useful. Just compare these two. This is very, very negative. But look at Buddha. All more description of reality, temporary hypothesis. See the gentleness of Buddha. And no, extreme uh, sharpness of George Box. And George Box was a very interesting figure in the history of statistics. Box was a student of Fisher, and he also married Fisher's second daughter. He went to Princeton and established a statistical research institute in Princeton, and then University of Wisconsin and elsewhere. Okay, next please. This is a painting by one René Magritte, a French master. And I like his paintings very much. They are very paradoxical. Great painter, great artist. And I was looking at this. It's a painting of a pipe that Einstein loved to smoke. Einstein said that I would like to smoke like a chimney. Love to. No, you would always see Einstein with a pipe. Right? It's written in French that this is not a pipe. Here is a painting of a pipe, and there it is written in French. Says that this is not a pipe. I was looking at it for a long time. Puzzled. This is a painting of a pipe. Says this is not a pipe. I realized suddenly one day, there's an illumination, which is very rare in my case. Of course, this is not a pipe. This is only a picture of a pipe. Painting of a pipe. Map is not a territory. Your statistical model is not a real thing. You must be careful. Otherwise, you mistake it for the reality. A statistical model is a model. It's only a model. You have the model of an electron. You must have seen in your school. It's only a model. The electron is not like a little ball of a neutron and electrons whizzing around. It's not so. It's not a little ball, a little, particle like that. So, this tells me a great thing, that it's not a pipe. It's only a picture of a pipe. It is said in Zen Buddhism, the finger that points at the moon is not the moon, it's the finger. So, I would like to, what I am trying to convey this is that you do your statistics, you do your modeling, statistical modeling and all those things, but they are models. Still they are models. Because science is like a net. And in a net, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa used to tell this beautiful story, Paramahamsa. Paramahamsa lived on the banks of Ganga. So he always looked at the fishermen, the frogs there, the fish there, all those things. He said that a fisherman throws a net and catches fish. And can he conclude by this? These are the only things that live in this lake or ocean. Not so. You have caught. Science is like a net. Our statistics, our models are like a net. You catch something. But then you may be also missing many important things that you should be very, very wary of, careful about. So that's the idea. So this is not a pipe, this is only a picture of a pipe. A model and reality are not the same thing. A map and the territory are not the same. The finger that points to the moon is not the moon, it's only a finger. After it doesn't work, it must be removed. Look at the moon. Look at the moon. I don't know if you have seen Enter the Dragon film. Enter the Dragon. You have this there in the film. No? It's a great film, Enter the Dragon. So, next please. Yeah. So, there's another philosopher, physicist, Carlo Rovelli, an Italian physicist, and one of the leading physicists now, theoretical physicist, and a very wonderful writer. Wonderful writer, a great writer. He has been trying to develop something called loop quantum gravity. And his work in quantum mechanics called relational quantum mechanics. He was influenced by two people, Anaximander and Nagarjuna. Nagarjuna was an Indian Buddhist philosopher from Andhra. Nagarjuna Sagar. After Nagarjuna was a very great Buddhist philosopher. And Nagarjuna says that all things are interdependent, relational. There is no intrinsic existence of objects in isolation. You cannot look at an object in isolation. An electron, an isolated electron, has no meaning. Until you interact with it, it has no existence. Only in relation to you, it has an existence. So this idea, it's called relational, there is no intrinsic existence of objects in isolation. All things are related. So that's the idea. And Carlo Rovelli has developed something called relational quantum mechanics. Let's not go into details, but that's the idea. That all things are related. There is no such thing as an isolated particle, like a proton or an electron. It's an abstraction that we have in our mind. Only when you interact with them, you know whether they exist or not. So, it's another great scientist influenced by these two great philosophers, Anaximander, Greek philosopher, and Nagarjuna. So, that's Carlo Rovelli. What I am trying to convey is a bottle. I can touch it and feel it. Then a chair. I can see. I can touch everything and see. Now, does probability also exist like a chair and table? There's a question. There are ரெண்டு கட்சிகள் இருக்கா. ஒன்று frequentists, the other is Bayesians. The frequentists say, yes, It exists in the real world. Probability exists in the real world. It is objective. There is something objective of probability. It's like a chair or a bottle that exists in the world. It's like that. That's what the frequentists say. Bayesians, after Reverend Bayes, the English theologian, mathematician, Bayes, Reverend Bayes, Bayesians say, no, it exists in the mind. It is subjective. You revise your beliefs as you get more information. Now, I would like to do a small experiment. A simple experiment. We all know when we learn probability 101, we toss a coin, right? And we keep tossing this coin. It has a head and a tail. As you keep tossing this coin, more and more, you know that the number of heads and number of tails become 50 and 50. It's called inertia of large numbers, as we all know. And suppose, and we know that in a single toss, as I toss this should be either a head or a tail. It can't be both, unless you have quantum probability, where it can be both. It's a funny thing. It's a very funny thing. You know, it's something fantastic. Quantum probability. No, but this is classical probability, right? So I have a coin which is an unbiased coin, I suppose. We have, we have to qualify it. It's an unbiased coin. I have a head and tail, and I toss this. As I toss it, now I have closed my hand. Now, palm, it is there. Right? I would like to ask you, is this a head or a tail? Head. Head. Straight. Now, you can say it must be either head or a tail. It must be either head or a tail. It can't be both. So, this is either a head or a tail. This is called a priori probability. A priori. A priori means before you experience it. A priori. A priori is a philosophical idea. A priori, before experience. A posteriori, after you experience it. So you have a priori probability, a posteriori probability. There are two things. So, I have tossed this coin, and you said, no, it must be, you can say, you said head, right? So you can say, it's either head or a tail, right? This is what the frequentists will say. The frequentists will say, it must be either head or a tail, right? A priori probability. Now, the Bayesian, if you're a Bayesian, you will say, I don't know. I don't know. But you know. I don't know. But you know. I know. You will say, I don't know, but you know. Right? Because I have seen it. But you have not seen it. I don't know whether it's head or a tail. I can't say anything about it. That's what a Bayesian will say. Are you going to be a Bayesian or a frequentist? That's the issue. So, there's a world of difference between these two on the nature of probability, the reality of probability. That's a very fundamental philosophical question. Frequentists say it's objective. It's objective. It must be either head or a tail. It's an objective fact, right? A priori, logically. Bayesians will say, no, it exists in the mind. Subjective. You revise your belief as you get more information. Right? When you look at it, then you can say, so this idea of Bayesian probability is based on our Our brains are Bayesian instruments, I can say. We learn, we have we learn something new about the world, we revise our probability. So posterior probability is prior probability into some value. So expectation. So Bayesians believe in subjective probability. As you get more information, you revise your probabilities. They don't accept inertia of large numbers because they're subjective. And there's a world of big philosophical difference between these two. Objectivity versus subjectivity. In philosophy, it's a big problem. Is there an external world apart from your perception? It's a big philosophical idea in physics. It's the bread and butter of philosophers, right? So, and another thing, one more thing, that frequentism does not apply to one of things. Suppose there is a very rare happening, frequentism does not apply. It cannot apply. Whereas Bayesian probability can apply. For instance, I will tell you, 65 million years ago, there were dinosaurs. They all vanished 65 million years ago when a big asteroid or a comet hit in Yucatan Peninsula between South America and North America. There's the Yucatan Peninsula and all the dinosaurs perished. And small little mammals survived. One thing was called Purgatorius, a little mouse-like, tiny, weeny, tiny thing. And we all are here today because of that. All the mammals evolved and we all sit and talk about them here because the dinosaurs became extinct. Now it's a one-off event. Only one time it had happened in Earth's history. Now, frequentism cannot apply to that. Frequentist approach to probability cannot apply. But Bayesian probability can apply. It's a beautiful idea. Now it is said that we are in the midst of a fifth extinction. Am I right, sir? We are in the midst of fifth extinction. Extinction now is happening. Now, that means there have been 4 extinctions. Now, you can apply Bayesian probability for these things and it has been done. So, this one idea of Bayesian probability that is very, very beautiful and important. It's a deep philosophical question. And now, the ghost of Reverend Thomas Bayes still helps. As I told you, the Reverend Thomas Bayes was a Presbyterian minister and a theologian. And he never knew that his idea would be so helpful to all of us. He never could imagine. Einstein never imagined that his ideas would result in a global positioning system and all that. Or even he didn't even believe in black holes, nor about the Big Bang. Right? So, you have Thomas Bayes in financial forecasting, weather forecasting, forensic science, and spam filtering, textual analysis, and these are the 2 things that I am interested in: evolution and transmission of myths. How our mythologies evolve and spread. And that ancient question, does God exist? Does God exist? It's a very important question. In these two things, Bayesian probability has done some wonderful work. The first thing, there was one Julien Duhay, a French anthropologist and statistician, social anthropologist and statistician. He had applied Bayesian analysis, Bayesian analysis to understand the myth of cosmic hunter. You know that Lord Shiva was also a hunter, is it not? He gives, as a hunter, he gives to Bhasmarashram to Arjuna, right? So this hunter myth, Duhay has traced and applied hierarchical Bayesian analysis, something called bias system in statistics, and he had applied and found how this Tonmam myth evolved and spread throughout the world from the Siberian shamans to India. The same, you find this universal myth. The hunter myth is something universal. You find it in the caves of Lascaux in France. I have those pictures. They are very profound. You find time up.
Yeah.
Time up.
Then we'll have question answer session also.
Yeah, 1 minute.
Yes, definitely.
So this, then you have the existence of God. I have done some calculations on something called intelligent design, and I found that applying Bayes theorem, that God as or intelligent design as the best explanation, the probability that it is the best explanation, the chance is that 1 in 2 divided by 10 to the power of 120. 10 to the power of 100, 1 divided by 2 divided by 10 to the power of 120. The probability that God exists due to chance is only 1 in 10 to the power of 120, or 2 by 10 to the power of 120, my calculations show. 10 to the power of 120 is a very huge number. You know that 10 to the power of 100 is Google. Now 10 to the power of 120 is way higher than Google. 10 to the power of 100 is Google. 10 to the power of 100 is Googleplex. So I find to this question, does God exist? In fact, Bayes applied his idea to prove the existence of God. He was a man of faith. And now, with our lot of understanding of our physics, something called fine tuning, and we apply those data to this question, I find that inference of God due to intelligent design is definitely there. So thank you for this. And the last one. Yeah. Don't forget the child in you. There's a child in you. Don't forget the child in you. The child in you must be kept alive. The child in you must be cherished. The child in you is the most wonderful gift that you can ever have. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. No, sir. That is what is most needed, sir. The most weighted. Sir, please be seated. Yes, sir.
Two stalwarts have given a wonderful lecture. Without a piece of paper, he spoke for 1 hour. He retired 14 years back. After 14 years also, he could able to maintain that flow. What a way in which he has given the information. Another gentleman I told you, he's a commerce teacher. I told you he came to commerce by accident. But he likes philosophy, other areas. See how beautifully he has presented. In fact, it's a learning experience for the youngsters. We are not giving importance even for our own subjects. Commerce is they don't talk commerce alone, other subjects also. Therefore, we'll have a question and answer session. Quick, time is running out. Other college students, please bear with us. Knowledge sharing. Don't think otherwise. We are taking your time. Another half an hour, everything will get over. Quick,
Yeah.
fast.
நான் கேட்கல சார்.
He is Shivam Dubey.
Oh, yes.
He is Shivam Dubey. BCom it is from AM Jain College. MCom MPhil and all our student. 7 times he has cleared net. Come on, give a big round of applause. Now he is doing PhD from Varangal. Varangal NIT is doing his PhD. One day you can see him as a Central University professor, in fact. Highly enthusiastic guy. He is working for 15 hours a day, 15 to 16 hours. He has reduced around 10 to 12 kgs of weight. Appadi padikran, in fact. Great inspiration, that is why I introduced him.
Okay, fine. Ramesh, Mike. Shivam, கேளு. ஃப்ரெண்ட்ல வா.
Akila, ready? Certificate. அடுத்த கூப்பிடுவேன் டக்குன்னு.
Good evening, sir.
Please, ஆன்ல தான் இருக்கு.
Good evening, sir.
இப்படி வெச்சுக்கோ மைக்க. மேல வந்து கேட்றான்னு ஒண்ணுனா. வாபடி. புடி.
Good evening, sir. Sir, actually you told
புடி. மைக்கடா புடிக்கற நீ.
you told sir that you told sir that experimental study is least preferred by the scholars. So will you elaborate what is experimental study with some example? Like I think there are 4 subdivisions are there in experimental study. So little bit can you elaborate?
சார் உட்கார்ந்தே பேசுங்க சார். உட்கார்ந்தே பேசுங்க.
Relax.
People have attempted. It is not that it is unknown in commerce. People have done experimental research in behavioral finance as well as in consumer behavior. They have adopted. It is there already. It is already there. So basically, you have control group and experimental group. So only problem is, see in research, we say epistemology. That is basically how do you understand or test knowledge, truthfulness. How do you know a particular thing is a fact? How do you establish a particular knowledge? So scientific method is what is advised. Scientific method means doing systematically and helping others to replicate. Whatever you have done, it must be verifiable. So evidence-based, basically, knowledge is developed on evidence-based. That is typically the research that takes place. All over the world, it is evidence-based test. So you accept something as fact when there is an evidence for that. Okay? So in experimental design, that is what we try to see. How a particular fact is differing from one group to another group. So 2 similar groups, but one variable will be different between one group and another group, and we see the impact of that on that particular group. The age-old experiment is Hawthorne experiment. You know? So that is what people should be inspired. That's what I am saying. In physical sciences and natural sciences, people work in laboratories, so variables can be controlled. Whereas we are not adopting in social sciences because dynamic environment is dynamic. But it doesn't prevent you from attempting that. So people used it in consumer behavior and investor behavior and all for risk taking, for example. People have done that. So it is possible, that's what I'm saying. So you need to spend, your involvement will be much, much greater in experimental design, personally. And you gain a lot of experience in that particular process. So you have to develop that skill, observation skill, and also examining the differences. And see, basically, every researcher requires two qualities, articulation and analytical skills. Articulation is required. One concept, if someone gives, you must be able to write 10 pages on that. So that is your language skill, basically. So that language skill is essential, and critical thinking, that is analytical skill. These two are essential for researcher. In experimental design, your analytical skills will be sharpened. So two groups, control groups and experimental groups, you can choose and try to introduce variables in those groups and how they, that means you, introducing variables means you present a particular situation, how they react to that particular event or particular, say, advertisement you take. You show advertisement and see the reaction, that's how. So you need to look at, in fact, in one of the recent studies, the stress levels experienced between groups, that also how behavioral changes takes place. So that requires, even though you are a commerce student, you need a little bit of medical background. So to examine that blood pressure or things like that, you may have to use instruments. So investment, this is stress level, that is called, when you are examining bias, for example, how bias plays a major role in decision making. Investor bias, subjective decision making. So in all these cases, people have done experimental design. They have done it. If you go through literature, you will come across various types of studies which have adopted experimental. So it is not totally unknown. It should be adopted by our students also. That's what I am saying.
Sir. Good evening, sir. Sir, my name is Meenu Eka, research scholar. Sir, I have a small question, sir. How do you see this shift, sir? Like, people are asking, like, how many publications did you do, rather than the quality or so? When we go somewhere, where they're asking for the number of publications. How many publications did you do? And the focus is on the tool. When we submit some paper, the pressure is on the tool, sir. Like, rather than the topic, objective or the findings, the main pressure is on the tool. What did you use some particular model or so? So how do you see this, sir?
See, that is the tragedy of changing world. Basically, nowadays people associate your performance in terms of quantity. So that's what I was also talking with Professor Shanti. When UGC made PhD compulsory and publications compulsory for career advancement, we have killed it, basically. So the quantity is not important. For me personally, quantity is not important. And regarding the type of publication, you see the model that you are talking about, something new, that is what basically we expect. In every article or any publication, we expect some element of new knowledge, some element of improvement. That is what. So how you achieve it is different. It need not be necessarily, see, methodological improvements can be there, analytical techniques can be different. So, or the area of study or the geographical limitations that can be varied. Or you may introduce new variables and see the reactions. So changes can be introduced in different ways. So model or tool is only one aspect. I don't think that is an essential aspect. So number is not important. So usually what they say is A-star journals. So if you publish even one article in A-star journals, you are good enough. That's what we should consider.
Sir,
Anyone else? Yeah, you can say your name and you can ask.
So, this is Keertika, a research scholar, Department of Commerce. I have one question in the continuation of this. Most of the institution, for example, big institution, they are preferring PhD in management. For example, we are PhD in commerce, but still, even if we are doing in finance major or marketing major, they are calling for marketing or finance, but still they are expecting to do PhD in management.
Not necessary.
It's a policy matter. Basically, again, disciplines are considered. See, on one side, people encourage interdisciplinary research. Teamwork is most important. Interdisciplinary approach is very important. Even at national level, the new education policy also says that one should go for interdisciplinary research and all. Reality is, if you go for interdisciplinary research, jobs will not be available. Which discipline you belong to? Because our universities and educational institutions, they have fixed these faculties in watertight compartment. You are isolated from management.
Correct.
Whereas in Western universities, it is called business school. Everything will be there in one area, one function. So because of that watertight compartmentalization and also the policies of the government or the institutions, that creates problems for students. Otherwise, whether it is management or commerce, it doesn't matter. As long as you are doing good work, it should be recognized.
Thank you, sir. But still, I have one more question.
As you say, if you are looking for a job in management, you must have management qualification.
Correct.
If you are looking for a commerce job, then you must have qualification in commerce. That's how present situation is. Unless the policies change, we cannot do anything about it.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
sir, this is a question related to research.
Satama.
Sir, after doing our review of literature, we'll be finalizing the variables. So, after doing my review of literature, I have found one variable that is used as an independent variable in most of the study. But in my context, I wanted to use it as a moderator, but literature review didn't support. So, how can I justify that using that particular variable as a moderator in my context? And how will I...
Do you have any evidence to say that it is a moderating variable? Do you have any evidence? When you say you want to use it as a moderating variable, you must have some basis, some support. So where do you find that support? Do you have support? Then you can go ahead.
I can give a conceptual idea how it works as a
Not
moderator.
that totally, see, you yourself introducing that as a moderating variable. Now, as I mentioned in the previous cold storage cases, before and after they have taken, and see, moderating variable is population. That they have not, population change has caused a change in consumption. That variable they have ignored. That effect they have ignored while doing this analysis. So you must have that kind of basis or evidence to show that particular thing is a moderating variable. Intelligence, when we are talking about, parental education is an intervening variable, moderating variable. So if they are educated, that influence the intelligence of the children. So that way, whenever you want to say a particular variable is a moderating variable, you must have some basis for that, some theoretical basis for that.
Sir,
If it is there, you can go ahead.
sir, then how the first person who would have used that variable as a moderator would have done that?
No, you can see even in multiple regression analysis, when you are saying the independent variables should be independent. There should not be relationship among independent variables. Then there is no longer it is independent. Between independent variables, there should be no relationship. That is the assumption we make. So that is heteroscedasticity and all we talk about. So similarly, when we are talking about, there are 8 types of variables, basically. Moderating variable is one such type. You can go through that. In literature, it is there very much. So when you are doing theoretical analysis, see that is the issue basically. I just give one simple illustration. Job satisfaction you take. You have to define for your research purposes what is job satisfaction. There is what is called universe of content. That is, there is a true meaning of what is job satisfaction. So that's a big circle. When you are taking some variables, some factors which explain job satisfaction, you are taking a sample from that universe. So you are not covering the entire knowledge base. You are taking a sample and you are saying, that is, for example, one approach that students use is internal, external factors. So that means intrinsic factors means job related, within the job, the type of job you are doing, how complex it is, whether you have power to use resources, involvement, how much risk it is there. That is one aspect. The second aspect is job related factors. That also influences your satisfaction. Where are you working? Who are your co-workers? Is there promotion policy? So facilities, the type of work environment you are working, these are all contextual. So content and context, 2 variables you are taking, but others disagree. There are other types of approaches for examining job satisfaction. Herzberg, for example, 2-factor analysis. Dissatisfaction and satisfaction factors are different, he says. So when you are looking at the meaning of a particular concept itself, you are limiting. You are trying to choose certain variables and through which you are explaining. And therefore, to what extent the definition that you have chosen for a particular concept is valid for your research purposes, that you must establish. This is the best way of looking at it. Culture, our friend has looked at culture. Values as the basis of culture they have taken. You have to establish, this is the best way of looking at this particular concept. So when you say whether a particular variable is independent or dependent or moderating variable, it is for you to establish they have moderating. You show a theoretical model, a diagram. This variable influences this. You are showing that. That should be basis for that. Whenever you are showing that model, you must logically you must come to that model based on your review. The review must help you to identify. Some researchers would have used it as moderating variable. Their results are there already. You can quote that and say this is how people have used. That's how it is.
Thank you, sir. And one more thing, if we are doing as in the marketing stream, can we do papers in HR? Because in B schools, if they are doing in marketing, they'll be only concentrating in marketing. So if I'm doing marketing, if my friend isn't doing in HR, can I collaborate with them and do papers in HR?
I tell you, knowledge has no boundaries. Her friend was talking about, say, he talked about physics, chemistry, everything. Physics, chemistry, everything. So knowledge has no boundaries. So there is one concept called analogy. Analogy, that means you borrow concepts or ideas from some other discipline and use it in your research. One example,
Leverage, sir. Leverage.
Leverage, no, another one. The debt equity analysis. So in capital structure, debt and equity, what proportion one should maintain, it is there. The theories are there on that. To examine that effectiveness of debt, whether it is effectively contributing to the performance of how much debt will be most effective in contributing to performance, if you are examining that. There is one probit analysis which is used in biology. That is for debt dosage for patients. That technique is used here. You borrow that and use it here. In civil engineering, rescaled range analysis is there. There is one technique. That technique is used to examine unusual events. For example, a reservoir is constructed. So what is the probability there will be heavy water flow in that area and this dam getting burst? That may happen once in 100 years. But even that one event, it will create massive collapse in that area. So this rescaled range analysis tells you the probability of occurrence of that. That they have used in stock market. The technique which is in civil engineering, they have borrowed, and so this kind of analogy is there. So boundaries are not there. You can always depend on others.
Thank you, sir. And thank you for Ramesh, sir, for clearing one doubt. I always thought that...
I'll be when I say this. Professor talked about analogical reasoning. And I remember this, Carl Pearson gave us the 4 moments: mean, standard deviation, kurtosis, and so on. He called them moments. These ideas were borrowed from physics. Inertia of moments in classical physics. And that was the idea that was borrowed. Right? Similarly, you have the idea of entropy. The idea of entropy that's found in from physics to other fields, like in information theory and so on.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I always had a question that why PhD scholars is also called as doctors. Thank you for contributing the point that why
do you have any questions to ask?
why teachers are called as doctors, because it's a license to teach. Thank you.
We'll have the interaction later. For want of time.
Sorry, don't mistake it, sir. Yeah, ma, you asked regarding the theory. There are 3 stages, ma. First stage is developing the theory. Second stage is proving or disapproving the theory. Third stage is refining the theory. I think when you are asking the question, there is a moderator, and you want to prove there is a moderator, you are jumping 2 things. Developing the theory itself takes time. For example, X leads to Y. Some 10 papers would have said X leads to Y. Some 12 papers will say Y leads to Z. Now you develop a conceptual paper, X may lead to Y, Y may lead to Z. That itself is a paper, conceptual paper. Then second paper would have been, then you collect data on that, and then you prove or disapprove X, Y there is a moderator, X is that independent thing, Z is that dependent thing, like that. So I hope I have, sorry sir.
Thank you.
Before you, I'm nothing, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, concluding? Sir, na conclude pannu sir. Ore or question ada. Sir, today, chinna question da sir. Let me ask in Tamil also, sir. Sir, multiple regression vandichu. Multiple regression எல்லாரும் போட ஆரம்பிச்சோம். அதுக்கப்புறம் வேற டெக்னிக்ஸ் வந்துச்சு. அப்புறம் ஜெனரல் லீனியர் மாடல்ஸ் வந்துச்சு. ஜெனரல் லீனியர் மாடல். இன்னைக்கு வந்து எனக்கு தெரிஞ்ச ஒரு லாஸ்ட் 8-9 வருஷமா எல்லாருமே செம்முன்னு தான் சுத்திட்டு இருக்காங்க. மீன்ஸ் தே ஆர் ஒர்க்கிங் ஆன் இட். அண்ட் தே சே வி ஷுட் கோ வித் த ஃப்ளோ. இன்னைக்கு என்ன லேட்டஸ்ட் ட்ரெண்ட் இருக்கோ ஸ்டாட்டிஸ்டிக்கல் டெக்னிக்ல அது ஐ திங்க் இட் ஹஸ் பிகம் ஓல்டு. ஐ ஃபீல் ஸோ. ஏன்னா இன்னைக்கு NLP அண்ட் வி ஹவ் கான் வித் சம்திங் பிகர். But still, what is your opinion about going with the flow, sir?
In one of the viva was, the candidate applied 5 techniques to examine one particular issue, and the results are same for all the 5 techniques. I asked him, what made you to apply all these 5 techniques for getting the same result? When you are not getting something different, where is the need for you to do this? They said they are all latest techniques applied in analysis. So this is called paralysis by analysis. So there is what is called appropriateness. You choose what is suitable for a particular situation. See, in your statistics textbook, this is a simple example. In your statistical textbook, there are about 8 averages, measures of central tendency. A chapter is there. You have arithmetic mean, median, mode, weighted average, moving average, so many varieties. And also geometric mean and things like that, harmonic mean. You have so many. Why is it? If the purpose of average is to provide you at a glance the situation in a particular area or particular phenomenon, one measure will do. Why are we having so many? That is where you need to understand appropriateness. We have these so many other measures. Each one is suitable in a particular situation. As I mentioned, if in 5 minutes, if I want to explain analysis, it is like this. Number series, if you look at, they have 3 characteristics. Number series. The first rule is one number is greater than or less than another number. That is one rule. Easy to understand. 5 is greater than 3. Easy to understand. Second rule is the interval between 2 numbers may be greater than, equal or less than interval between any other 2 numbers. So 11 and 7, the difference between these two is greater than 9 and 11. This difference is lesser, this difference is more. This is second characteristic of a number series. The third one is most of the number series will have a definite origin. That is, you begin with 0, 1, 2, 3 like this. There is an origin, beginning. These are the 3 important characteristics of number series. All your statistics are related to this. Now, if the type of data that you collect, if it doesn't satisfy any of these characteristics, you reach nominal level of measurement. Nominal level of measurement, classification. In this particular hall, there are some men, so there are some women. So this is classification. Here, there is no ordering, or there is no greaterness or lesserness. There is nothing of that kind. So this is nominal level of, even at this level, statistical techniques can be applied. So depending on the nature of data, appropriate techniques should be chosen. So for nominal data, mode is the most appropriate technique of average. Suppose I have marks relating to students. I can say one mark is greater than the other. So ordering is possible. So when ordering is possible, median is the most appropriate technique. Average. So you reach second level of measurement called ordinal level, where data can be arranged. So you ask consumers, rank these various brands on the basis of certain characteristics. You are trying to order. So when you are trying to order, you reach second level of measurement. So there, median will be most appropriate. If you reach third and fourth level, that is what is called ordinal, and then nominal, ordinal, interval and ratio. Interval and ratio are third and fourth levels. If you reach higher levels, more sophisticated techniques can be applied. So for each level, there is parametric technique, there is non-parametric technique. Both are available. So usually at the first 2 levels, non-parametric techniques are applied, and the next 2 levels, parametric techniques are applied. So arithmetic mean is a parametric technique. Median is a non-parametric technique. So that way, you have the appropriateness for situations. That is how simply something fashion is coming or latest technique is there, therefore let me put it. So I heard some students saying, my teacher says regression should be there in my thesis, otherwise it will be rejected. So what do I do with this data? How can I put regression? How do you answer that? So the issue is appropriateness is very important. What is suitable for you, you choose and do it. That's it.
There is an old saying, the dog should wag the tail should not wag the dog. That's it. That's what it is. Right? The statistical tail should not wag the dog. S.K. Chakraborty used to talk about it. Thank you.
as we come to the meaningful conclusion of this enriching national colloquium on integrity, iteration and impact, pillars of transformative research practices, it gives us immense pleasure to welcome you all to the valedictory ceremony.
Over the past 2 days, this colloquium has served as a vibrant platform for intellectual exchange, innovative ideas, and meaningful collaborations. It has truly enriched our perspective and strengthened our pursuit of research excellence.
I now invite Dr. B. Vijay Kumar sir to kindly deliver the welcome address and extend a warm greeting to the august gathering.
Yes, sir. Good evening to you all. Jai Shri Krishna. I'm happy to deliver the welcome address in the valedictory function of this colloquium. I welcome Dr. Shanti, the head of the Department of Commerce of University of Madras. So welcome you, ma'am, for this colloquium. I also welcome Dr. Ranganathan, sir, former registrar and head of the Department of Commerce, University of Madras. Sir, today I had the privilege of listening to a lecture. Many of my friends used to say, I was a student of Ranganathan, sir. I really thought I have missed your lectures and teachings. Today I had the privilege of hearing your lectures, sir. Thank you, sir. I welcome Ranganathan, sir, for this valedictory function. I also welcome Ramesh Kumar, sir, of DB Jain College for this function. So, sir, your enthusiasm is so infectious, and so everybody, everybody enjoyed your lecture, sir. Thanks a lot for your lecture, sir. And I also welcome our head of the department, Dr. Seshadrinathan, sir, and Satish, sir, and also the organizing secretary, Dr. Haridayal Sharma, sir, and also the students and the research scholars who attended this colloquium for the 2 days. So I welcome you all for the valedictory function. Thank you.
Felicitation is not just a ceremony. It is a celebration of excellence, dedication and impact. I now request Dr. R. Sundari ma'am and Dr. Hema Malini ma'am to kindly felicitate our esteemed chief guest, Dr. R. Shanti ma'am, head of the Department of Commerce, University of Madras, as a token of our gratitude and appreciation.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. I now invite Dr. S. Seshadrinathan, sir, to sum up the proceedings.
Vande Bharat, just 2 minutes. See, the response, the resource persons, by seeing them, we should not have the colloquium for 2 days. We need to have for 5 days or 7 days. We have got so many people, in fact, with so much of knowledge. Yesterday, we started the colloquium with Mr. Chandu Nair, IIM Ahmedabad. What a way in which he presented, in fact. Wonderful presentation, apart from the 1 hour question answer session, followed by Person Dean from Pondicherry University, Mr. Kasilingam. He highlighted about the statistics, usage of for various tools. Then in the afternoon, we had a thought-provoking panel discussion, headed by Mr. Kuperi Chandrasekhar, Mr. Ram Babu Kumar Swami, Srinivasan, Radha Rangachari and Sudarshan, in fact. On AI, nook and corner they spoke, and we had a wonderful question answer session also for the second. Today morning, we started with the 3 giants from Bangalore. One Mr. P.V. Srinivasan, Bhishma Pitamaga of taxation, who has put in around 40 years of service in almost all corporates, and Mr. Venkatraman, Vice President Taxation, Wipro, another person, Mr. Swaminathan. 3 people spoke so well, in fact. It's an eye-opener for many students. And followed by another IAM person, Mr. Dr. Kumar Swami. He also beautifully published our parish. Person had a real experience. We did not call a person who did not have any previous experience on publishing, in fact. How many articles he has? And internationally, he has given example. 10 articles I have presented, published, rather I have written, everything rejected. 11th one is in the pipeline, he said, in fact. It was a wonderful experience. Followed by our good friend, Mr. Anand Pattabhiramanan. He also spoke really well. Time given to Anand Pattabhiramanan just was half an hour. We would have given 1.5 hours time. In the afternoon, 2 giants. Come on, give a big round of applause. First, Mr. Ranganathan, in fact, such a seasoned teacher. He started his career from Guru Nanak College, head of the department. And when he was the registrar also, teacher class. When he was a registrar also, he was taking classes, in fact. That was his mentality, in fact. Amazing, really. He thrilled the audience. He thrilled the research scholars. He thrilled the students, in fact. Next person. There is a saying in English, jack of all trades, master of none. But this gentleman, no, jack of all trades, master of all. Beautiful. Commerce man talking about philosophy, physics, chemistry, biology, and whatnot. I'm thrilled, wonderful, in fact. Other college students, really, whether you enjoyed or you're going to scold me, morning so I'm sorry to say, nothing is power, knowledge is power. With this, I conclude. Thank you.
Thank you for summing up the event, sir. I now invite our research scholar, Rakshana, to introduce our respected chief guest to the gathering.
Jai Shri Krishna. A very good evening to everyone. It is my privilege and pleasure to extend a warm and heartfelt welcome to all the dignitaries, eminent scholars, faculty members, researchers, students, and participants gathered here for this National Colloquium. It is my great honor and privilege to introduce our distinguished speaker for this National Colloquium, Dr. R. Shanti, Professor and Head, Department of Commerce, University of Madras, Chennai. Welcome you, ma'am. Dr. R. Shanti has 30 years of teaching experience and has served as a member of the Staff Selection Committee, Inspection Commission, Curriculum Committee, and Doctoral Committee. She has also worked as an external examiner for PhD, UG, PG, and MPhil programs. She has presented 132 research papers at national and international conferences and has successfully awarded 15 PhD scholars and 18 MPhil scholars. Her areas of teaching include international marketing, marketing analytics, and operations research. With a strong academic background, she holds a PhD from the University of Madras, a master's degree in commerce from Bharathidasan University, Tiruchirappalli, and an MBA from the Institute of Distance Education's University of Madras. Her research areas include marketing, banking, and entrepreneurship. She has been involved in funded research projects such as ICSSR and UGC and has also undertaken consultancy projects. She holds 2 patents and has an extensive research profile with 51 national and 15 international journal publications, including Scopus indexed, UGC approved, and peer-reviewed journals, along with 15 books and 26 book chapters. She has also developed course materials on advanced marketing for the University of Madras and on consumer behavior, strategic marketing, CRM, services marketing, and internet marketing for Tamil Nadu Open University and Bharatiyar University. She has presented her research papers at national and international conferences where she has received accolades for her outstanding work, including Best Paper Awards. She has conducted numerous workshops for faculty members, students, and research scholars across the country focusing on high quality research publishing, research methodology, and SPSS research tools. We are truly honored to have you here, ma'am. And I now request Dr. Shanti ma'am to kindly take over the session. The stage is yours, ma'am.
Pranams to my guru, Dr. M. Ranganathan, and most respected Professor Ramesh Kumar sir, and most respected head of the department and other dignitaries, faculty members, research scholars, and dear students. I will take only 2 minutes. So I joined university in the year 1990, okay, under sir, full-time research, as a full-time research scholar. 3 things I learned from him. 1, passion. That energy with which you start, you should hold it every time. See, when you ask question, the way Ramesh Kumar sir was so curious to know, even at this age, okay? So the childlike learning, that spirit you should have. I'll tell you one thing, when I was doing PhD, there was one blind scholar also there, accompanied by his father. We have to go to IIM A, IIM B to collect literature, and when our juniors go, they collect for the seniors. You know, this blind research scholar collected review of literature for me, printed, took photocopy, printed, and then he just bind it. He said, you will lose it if I give it to you in a loose paper. See, with what intensity we work. Now, you have AI, which does with 2 days, 1 day. It summarizes, it gives you everything, but still, very sorry to say, why do you go for outsourcing? Please never ever do this. When you do, you should own it. When we did, first time when I entered into the department, I'm using computer. I do not know typing. Sir gave me 4-page report for typing. I looked at him and said, sir, I do not know how to operate a computer, plus I do not know typing. Immediately he said, that is why I gave it to you. If I have not experimented, then you see. You know, I typed my PhD. So I downloaded a program which will teach you typing. And then I learned typing. And then, yeah. So there is nothing like don't take a word, no. So you have to change, you have to go get along with that. The second thing is perseverance. The first is passion, second is perseverance. Never say, yeah, that is the end of the life. I collected somewhere around 2,000 samples. Sir also had a big data. And you know, we had a computer, very old computer, which could accommodate only somewhere around 250 data or 300 data. Even we wrote factor analysis C program with my fellow research scholars, and we got help from computer science department. Even with that, we could not do. And after 6 months, we went to IIM, you name it, all the institution, we knocked, we could not do anything. And one day I approached sir, sir, shall we reduce the data? He asked me, when a foreigner can do with 2,000 data, why not us? There must be some way out. Go dig review of literature. So that was a Friday. Saturday, Sunday, there was only 2 lines. You have to crunch it and then you have to expand it. And I told him on Monday, I was running like, with the whole enthusiasm, I found an answer. But I found an answer, but I do not know how to apply the answer. I told him, I found an answer, sir, please help me to do it. That not just helped me, but 4 other research scholars also. So try. The review of literature will give you all the answers. All the answers. But how to collect the review of literature, use the terms correctly, and it is, you can get it in your fingertip. The third one is the patience. I think that is where we want always, what is it, ready. We want ready-made food, right? Everything, we do not have a patience to wait. I don't know what it is, why. See, there is always a difference between the home-cooked food and the ready-made food. Do you agree? Yes. And which is good? You also know. So have some patience. If I can do it, I entered into the university just after my MCom. I did my PhD without an MPhil, please remember. If I can learn and do it with so much technology and other support, you can also do it. So this is what I wanted to know. Today, I should thank Sir and Vijay Narayanan also. After a long time, I'm hearing from my guru, lecture from my guru, and also from Ramesh Kumar Sir is doing his FIP, okay, 1 year FIP. So Sir used to teach me physics, whatever he taught me. Today he took lecture, right? These things, yin yang theory, and then dream analysis, aliens, UFO, you name everything we used to discuss except commerce. Please remember that. And he will always carry this bag, Jolna Pai. So he called himself as Jolna Payan. Okay. So that is the identity even today, after 30 years, okay, somewhere around 30. Yeah, Jolna Payan. So that childlike enthusiasm you should have, please have that energy, okay. I thank, many times I've been here to this college is, okay, but today, it's an honor to share a stage. It's a great opportunity to share the stage with you. I just cannot stand near to him, I know, but yes, it's God willing. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for sharing your valuable thoughts and insightful words with us. We are truly grateful for your presence and guidance.
Now, I request any of the student participants to come forward and share their feedback on today's program.
First of all, thank you to the respectful dignitaries. And first, I want to thank Dr. Vijay Narayanan sir for giving this opportunity to attend this research colloquium. It's a full-packed research colloquium from the day one Chandunaya sir's session till few minutes speech given by Shanti ma'am has given a great insight to do the research and to get further into research, because they have given so many insights that these I don't know how many of you have listened completely. Even I too take some breaks, but they have given so many thoughts and so many eminent persons we have met, and they have given a great speech that we won't get that opportunity next time. And if I missed this opportunity, I would have definitely regretted. Thank you for Vijayanaran sir for giving this. And hospitality, organizing team, thank you so much. And the food was really good, satisfying. Until the end of this research colloquium, I was very satisfied. Thank you to the team. And so happy to see how HOD sir in this age, how energetic he is. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon to all, and it is going to be good evening. Thank you for this opportunity. I am the student. When sir said student from this group, I am the student of two gurus, Ranganadam sir and my madam Shanti madam. So I did MPhil under Ranganadam sir and PhD under Shanti madam's guidance. So I'm very happy of part of this colloquium research. It really makes a lot of insights, people. You can see like different topics they have covered, even AI and what is research, why not research, okay, why you have to go for research, even time, like what are the obstacles that you have. I have attended only the afternoon session. It was really awesome, and it's mind, what we say, like lot of insights are there, and I think people try to make it applied on your work area and research area. Thanks a lot. I'm very happy to see my gurus once again, and thank you for this opportunity.
Now, it's time for distribution of certificates to the participants. We request the participants to come from my right, collect the certificates and leave the stage from my left. And student participants are requested to stay till the national anthem. The ceremony will get over in some time.
As I call off, participants are requested to come and collect the certificate as I call off your institution name. Anna Others College for Women. Participants from Anna Others College for Women are requested to collect the certificates. Participants from DB Jain College are requested to collect their certificates. Anyone from DB Jain College? Okay. Jaya College of Arts and Science. Jaya College for Arts and Science. Government Arts and Science College, Nemili. Augustine College. Loyola College. Patrician College. MOP Vaishnav College. Rajeshwari Vedachalam Government Arts College. Vivekananda College. Satyabama University. Kannika Parameshwari Arts and Science College. Krishnaswamy College. ICAI, Sri Divya, yes. University of Madras. University. Guru Nanak College.
May I invite participants from SDNB College onto the dais? SDNB Vaishnav College, followed by SRM University of Science and Technology,
Maximum participation from SDNB, Vaishnav and MOP. Come on, give a big round of applause for SDNB and MOP.
followed by SRM University of Science and Technology, and SRM Arts and Science College, and finally participants from Dwaraka Goverdhan Vaishnav College. All the research scholars and students, please welcome to the dais of Dwaraka Goverdhan Vaishnav College. May I invite A.S. Nagalata ma'am from C. Kandasamy Naidu College.
Please come, madam. நான் ரெடி பண்ணிட்டேன்க்கா, நானேக்கா பண்றது. இந்த பதவி புள்ள என்னையே திட்டுறீங்க.
Now I'd like to invite participants from St. Thomas College of Arts and Science.
As we come to the conclusion of the valedictory ceremony, I now invite Dr. Haridayal Sharma sir to propose the vote of thanks.
Yeah, good evening everyone. It is my privilege to propose the vote of thanks. I will keep it short, don't worry. First of all, let me thank the chief guest of the day, Dr. Shanti Madam, who readily agreed our invitation and part of this, colloquium. She made the difference. My sincere thanks to our revered Ranganathan sir. He explained everything in a nutshell, entire concept of research methodology, right from introduction, framing the topic till the references or writing the report. Then again, my heartfelt thanks to Honorable Chief Guest or Guest of Honor, Dr. Ramesh sir, for explaining the philosophical part of research. I thank from my bottom of my heart our Secretary sir for providing us all the opportunities. I thank our principal for giving all the support. I thank our beloved HOD for always standing with us. I thank all the colleges who have, or the faculty members who have joined us, all the participants, student participants, and finally, last but not the least, the team members, all the team right from the top till bottom, from Dr. J. Satish till the bottom of our list, all the team members who made this colloquium a success. And finally, I thank Almighty for giving us this opportunity to conduct this colloquium. Thank you one and all.
Please stand up for national anthem. Let us all sing together. Janagana mana adinayaka jaya he Bharat bhagya vidhada Punjab Sindhu Gujarat Maratha Dravida Uchala Vanga Vindhya Himachala Yamuna Ganga Uchala Jalasitaranga Daba Shubha Name Jage Daba Shubha Ashisha Mage Gaye Tava Jaya Gada Janagana Mangala Bharata Jaya He Bharata Bhagya Vidhada Jaya He Jaya He Jaya He Jaya 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 He Bharat Mata Ki Bharat Mata Ki Bharat Mata Ki. Thank you.
Faculty photo shoot. All the faculty members, please come for the photo shoot.
Rajesh sir.